You know, for the Texans to be the youngest franchise in the NFL, for them to only be around 20 years, it seems like we know how to draft a receiver. It seems like we know how to find receivers. It seems like we have a way to find some good receivers. What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sports topic, and today we're gonna talk some football, Houston Texans football. Today we're gonna talk about the Houston Texans, one of their second round picks, and that's John Metchie III, wide receiver at Alabama. We're gonna break down what his impact potentially could be for the Houston Texans offense. We're gonna break it down. But hey, if you liking the content, make sure you liking the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you comment on the videos. You sharing the videos. You liking the videos. You sharing them on all social media platforms: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, any social platform you use. Also, follow me on social media. I have my links in the description below. We also giving away 30 days free Amazon Prime. If you sign up to Amazon Prime, you get 30 days free Amazon Prime. So make sure you hit that if you ain't already got Amazon Prime. Make sure you get your 30 days free if you sign up. Like I said, follow me on all social media platforms. If you liking the content, if you want more content, I'm gonna need y'all help. I need your help to grow this channel a little bit more and more. So, hey, I'm gonna continue to bring y'all the content, but y'all gotta help me out, man. Y'all gotta like, share, subscribe, and make sure we get, like I said, make sure we just get the channel up growing and growing and growing. Now, let's talk about it, because John Meacham was one of the picks that it was the first pick in this draft that Nick Caserio jumped up to go get. We were in the third round. We drafted Jalen Peter with our second round pick. And what we did was we were the third round pick. It was Cleveland was on the board. We jumped back up. We traded with Cleveland to get Cleveland's second round pick, and we drafted John Meacham III. I walked in wide receiver at Alabama. And when you watch his tape, um, he's a very reliable receiver. He was Bryce Young's, Bryce Young. I'm sorry. He was Young's number one target, most reliable target on his Heisman Trophy campaign. And when you watch his tape, like I said, he's a good, crisp route runner, decent hands. And he makes plays. That's really what he does. When you watch his tape, he makes a lot of plays. I was watching the tape against him in Auburn when he was going up against McCurry, the Roger McCurry, the receiver, the corner out of Auburn, which the Titans actually picked with the third pick in the second round. They might have been the third pick in the second round. The Titans picked him up, so that's one of the Titans' new corners, and that might be one of the reasons why Christian Fulton down the line could potentially become available because of them drafting corners. But that's a conversation for another day, and I talked about that a little bit last time in my secondary video about Christian Fulton becoming available in the future. But when you watch his tape against him in the beginning, he was getting he was actually getting the best of Meacham. Like he was beating Meacham getting to the ball a little bit, and even though Meacham was getting separation, he was closing in. But as the game wore on, he started being very, very dominant. Now, I don't know if some of that was with Young settling in, because it seemed like Young was a little bit antsy. And his throws was going over. He was overthrowing people, underthrowing people. So maybe he was a little bit more hyped up because it was Alabama's last chance to get into the college playoffs by beating Auburn. And they struggled in that game in the beginning. But as the game wore on and went to overtime, he played his butt off. He played well, and he was getting the best of it. He was straight out beating him and making plays on him. Also made the game-winning play when he got the game-winning two-point conversion on a little double move on a double move route going into the corner of the end zone. And on was a two-point conversion play, and he actually beat him on that play. And like I said, that's a guy he's going to face in this division for the next couple of years since the Titans drafted him. And he was making plays on him. And when you watch his tape throughout the whole season, he was making a lot of plays. He's an absolute playmaker. So, and then to see that Pep actually advocated for the Texans to go draft him. Pep went to Nick Caserio and with love, he said, "Hey, you need to give me this receiver. I can do some things with receiver." Now remember, Pep and Lovey. I'm not for sure about Nick Caserio, but I know Pep and Lovey was at both Ohio State Pro Day and was at Bama's Pro Day. And like I said, the talks were, they were out there looking at Chris Olave, came to Ohio State, and they're looking at Meacham at Alabama, because like they've been linked to Meacham, drafted Meacham for a while actually. Like I was hearing them drafted Meacham before Derek Stingley, before Sauce, even before Hamilton, back when they were talking about Kayvon Thibodeau was going to be the Texans pick back in February. We've heard, early February at that. I've heard a lot of rumblings of them being linked to Meacham because because if you look at his style, he's a typical slot receiver, but he can play on the outside. I think he's better suited for the slot, but he can play on the outside. He's a good route runner, and coming from Bill O'Brien, I know y'all won't hear this, but coming from a Bill O'Brien offense, that actually pays a lot of dividends. I think actually him playing the Bill O'Brien offense in college is probably what's going to help him in the NFL because of how complex we know Bill O'Brien runs his offense. We know that that's one of the complaints that we had. It was too complex. They didn't run a simpler scheme, and they didn't put their players in the right positions. And they put a lot on especially their receivers on those combo routes and choice routes. They give the receivers a lot of responsibility. And like I told you before, the receiver could be reading the route right, be reading the defense one way, the quarterback read another way, and they both could be correct by the way they looking at the defense and what the defense is showing each other. And they plan on having two different routes. The quarterback thinks he's running one route. The receiver believes he's running another. He thinks he should run another route based on the defense. And it's just too much complex, too many moving parts. That's one of the reasons why I didn't like Bill O'Brien's offense in the NFL. But I think that actually does pay dividends, at least in college, especially when you play in the SEC. I think it can pay some dividends of that type of offense, that type of scheme. And I think that's going to help Meacham in the NFL. And I think he's going to be a reliable receiver, to be honest with you. That's what I'm saying. I think he could be a number one target, number-rich target. I'm not going to say he's going to be a number one like Andre Johnson or Hopkins. But I think in this offer, he could be a number one-ish. Kind of like Brandon Cooks. I don't believe Brandon Cooks is a number one receiver. But he's a number one receiver in this offense. On this team, rather. He's a number one receiver on this team. I think Meacham can take over that. I don't think he's going to take over that this year because he's coming off the ACL. And even though it's supposed to be, he said he'll be ready by June or July, that he'll be ready. And then Nick Caserio said, whoa, pump the brakes on that. We're going to pump the brakes on that. I think they want to ease him along because I think Meacham is laying down the groundwork for potentially next year drafting Young and repairing him up with Young. I know everybody's out there, well, Davis Mills, I understand all that. And who knows? Meacham can actually help Davis Mills be the quarterback that a lot of people, the Mills Mafia, believe Davis Mills is. The quarterback I don't believe Davis Mills is. I think he's just a run-the-mill quarterback. Don't think Davis Mills is going to get you anywhere. But having a receiver like Meacham possibly could help. It's not going to hurt. I think having a receiver like Meacham will help. Now, I think there's more so laying down the groundwork because, like I was saying, when Lovie Smith and Pep Hamilton was both at Ohio State Pro Day and Alabama Pro Day, they both were very chummy, talky with the quarterbacks. They was with Ohio State. They was up there talking to C.J. Stroud. You seen Lovey talk to C.J. Stroud. You seen Pep talk to C.J. Stroud. You see Pep pull C.J. away and talk to him one-on-one as well. And then when it came with the Alabama Pro Day, the reports were that they were very, very, very impressed with Bryce Young. They were very impressed with Bryce Young. Those reports mean something. And I think that the Texans wouldn't have traded back in the first round if Chris Olave wouldn't. I think because Chris Olave was taken with the 11th pick by New Orleans. I don't think that they would have drafted, they would have traded back, let alone drafted Green with that pick if Chris Olave was on the board. I think Chris Olave would have been the Texans pick because I think that they kind of value Chris Olave a little bit more. But Meacham with the consolation prize. And I think that's the reason why they decided to jump up and get him, because they seen how the board was falling. They seen how receivers coming off the board. They're like, hey, let's hurry up and let's get Meacham before somebody else is. And I think Pep convinced me that if Pep is that confident, I think Pep is going to have packages with him, because when you watch his tape, like I said, he's a receiver. He could play on the outside. He does most of his damage. He does most of his damage in the slot, but he plays a lot on the outside as well. And he's a guy that you just got to get the ball in his hands. You toss little screen passes, do little reverses. You just got to get the ball in his hands. He can make plays. He's a smaller guy. I think he's 5'11", like 187 or something like that. So he's a smaller frame guy, but he's very shifty when it comes into space. He knows how. Like, he's one of those guys like you can't tackle him in the phone booth type guy. So he's a guy who could make moves. Make moves right at the drop of a dime. And he's very, very shifty. So I think in a lot of his routes, when you watch his routes, he does a lot of cutting. He does a lot of plant one foot, cut the next. plant one foot, cut the next. He does it like it's not just like just straight lines. He does a lot of planting his foot and cutting right or left, whichever foot, with opposite of the foot that he plants. So when he does that, it shows how shifty he is. He got nice hips that he could make people juke and things like that. So I think that Pep sees this on tape, and I think Pep is going to use this to his advantage. Now, you want to ease him into things because he's coming off the ACL, and when you do all that type of cutting and stuff and playing, you use your knees, obviously. So I think they're gonna take things slow. I don't expect him to play early on. Don't expect him to play early on. He probably gonna play in the preseason. Probably ease him into the preseason and things like that. But I don't expect him to play early on the regular season. But I say around like week 4, week 5, you start seeing him a little bit more. I think by the end of the season, he's going to be a full-fledged starter onto the offense by the end of the season. But I think they're going to work him in. I don't think they're going to rush him because, like what you gonna say, here for a long time, here for a good time and a long time, like Damian Pierce said, here for a good time and a long time. We not trying to win the Super Bowl this year. We would love to win the Super Bowl this year, but that obviously is not the Texans' goal, and Texas plan to win the Super Bowl this season. So there's no reason to rush. We're not the Chiefs or the Bills or the Rams or the Cardinals or the Vikings or the Ravens. We're not Bengals. We're not on these teams that we got hurt. We trying to win. We got a short window. We trying to win. We are in this is about to be year 1 of the rebuild. So you could take things a little bit slower. You ain't got to rush them right now. You can take things a little bit slower. And I think he's going to be a decent weapon. I do. I think he's going to be a very, very reliable weapon, kind of like a safety blanket. And like I said, and I know Pep doesn't run the New England style offense, but when you watch his tape, you do get kind of a Demi Amendola, Julian Edelman-ish vibe, but more athletic. He's way more athletic and more physically skilled as a receiver than Amendola and Wes Welker and Julian Edelman. He's more athletic and it has more actual skills than theirs from a receiver standpoint. That I think that he could be a legitimate receiver because I don't think, especially Edelman and Wes Welker, they wouldn't be thought of as high receivers in any offense until they got with Tom Brady in the New England offense, and then you see what it is. Damian Amendola, he was drafted with the Rams. He was utilized with the Rams before he went to New England. Now he got the best of his career when he got to New England, but he was still considered a better receiver than both Wes Welker and Julian Edelman was before the whole Patriots before they got to the Patriots. I think John Metchie is more of a better receiver than all three of those guys. I think he's a legitimate receiver. I don't think it's a stretch, and the reason why he got drafted in the second round, 'cause I don't think he would have made it to the Texans' third-round pick. But the funny thing is, and my gripe with the pick is that you traded Cleveland, and you traded their second-round pick for their second-round pick, rather. And I'm like, you might as well have got that second round because you gave up the third that you got from them. Or you gave up the fourth rather, because you gave up the third that you got from Philadelphia when you traded back. So you gave up the third you got from Philadelphia, and you gave up a 4th-round pick that you got from Cleveland. You gave them back their 4th to get their 2nd, and I'm like, well, damn, you should have just got their 2nd when you traded Deshaun Watson. That's one of the things I was talking about. Like, you didn't get no 2nd-round picks. You should have got that 2nd. That's probably my only gripe when it comes to this draft. That and me, I want Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton was my number one player. So when you traded back and you had a chance to get Kyle Hamilton and you traded back, I said obviously they didn't want Kyle Hamilton. And I said I'm cool with Petrie, so that's why I say it's no harm, no foul. I'm cool with Petrie, but so I guess that would be my only gripe. I have no other gripe. I have no gripe with other player selections. Like, I have no, even the tight end and the offensive lineman that nobody knows of, I have no gripe with those because one of the rounds that we're in, I think those were 6th and 5th rounds. So I have no gripe with those picks. So, but obviously Stingley's my favorite pick, and then this Petrie's my my second favorite pick. This might be my third favorite pick. I really like this pick. I really do. I would have said Christian Harris because I really want us to focus on the defense and be very decent defensive centric. But when I watch the tape of Meacham, I'm like, I get really, really excited. I think he could do a lot of good things for this offense. I really do. I think he could do a lot of good things for the offense. And like I said, when you hear that Pep really advocated for him, now I wonder if a lot of that's because you couldn't get Chris Olave. I think if Chris Olave was on the board, they would have got Chris Olave. If they was able to get Brees Hall, Bryce Hall, Brees Hall, yeah. If they was able to get Brees Hall, I think maybe they don't get him. But I really, really, really like the fact that they got him. I think that Pep can do a lot of things with him offensively. He can do a lot of things. He can do a lot of things. Be very creative with him and make sure you get the ball in his hands and let him use his playmaking skills. But I don't know how much of that we're going to see in 2022. I really don't. Like I said, I don't know how much we're going to see that in 2022 because, one, he's coming off the ACL injury. And are they going to try to wait to get him a more athletic quarterback? Now, I said, now, if David Mills turns out to be the guy, then David Mills turns out to be the guy, and then you just have to find a way to make it work. But I think I think a lot of stuff you can do with him, you can maximize more of him when you get a more athletic quarterback to do a little bit more things, move out the pocket a little bit more, better, stronger arm and things like that. So we'll remain to see. Like I said, he was the safety blanket and very Mr. Reliable when it came to Bryce Young's Heisman Trophy campaign. He's one of the reasons why he got the Heisman Trophy is because how good and reliable this guy was. He went to him in close at the time. Like I say, go back and watch that Auburn game when he's going 1-on-1 against McCory, the corner that we're going to see a lot in Tennessee, because I believe that especially because the Titans jumped up to draft him as well, and they just drafted their first round corner the previous year. So you're going to see a lot. He's going to be on the field a lot, and I think they're going to be matching up against each other a lot. And if you watch his tape of him, like I say, the easiest way to predict your future is to look at your past. Go watch his tape against him. He got him in the early on. But as the game started to wear on, like I said, and Young started to settle down, start making better decisions and better throws, he was absolutely working them to the point that he catches the game-winning two-point conversion in four overtime on him. And he was making plays, crucial first down over here, touchdown over here, crucial play over here, third down over here, conversion right here, move the chains over here. Like, he was making a lot of plays, key plays in the nut cutting time, basically the time when you gotta put up a setup, when the college playoffs is on the line. Alabama, if they were lost against Auburn, there wouldn't been no college playoffs. College playoffs was completely on the line. SEC championship appearance game was completely on the line. All these things were on the line, and that's who he went to. He went to Meacham, and he made the plays against a corner that we're going to see twice a year in our division. I cannot wait for this season. I really can't. I can't wait for this off season. I can't wait to rookie mini camp. I think this in a couple of days. I can't wait to see. I cannot wait to see the off season, the preseason. Couldn't get that. Can't wait for the preseason, and I can't wait for the games. I cannot wait. I am extremely excited for this season. I wasn't this excited last year, obviously. I wasn't even this excited in 2020, even though we had number 4 still. I wasn't excited. This is the most I've been excited since going into the 2019 season. I haven't been this excited in the last 2 seasons. And, yeah. It's definitely the most excited I've been since then. And am I more excited than 2019? I know I'm not more excited than 2018. I know 2018 and 2017, I was the most excited I was going to a Texans season. Those 2 seasons. Those 2 seasons was the most excited I was going to a Texans season outside of going into 2012. Outside going into 2012. So those are my 3 high seasons. I don't think I was at. I'm not as high right there, but like I said, I can't wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this season. And I know y'all can't, like I said, I can't wait to see these guys on the field. I really can't wait to see these weapons and see exactly what they have in store. Because I do think that he can be a key asset and a key weapon and very reliable for the growth of Davis Mills, but also potential development of a future franchise quarterback. Like, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't, click that bell, get more videos. I holla.